Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, welcome to Dega, baby. This is not just any race. This is sure to be an absolute show. Welcome to the Nap Daddy Racing Designs 200 here at Talladega for the Group 6 Cup Series in the Doghouse Racing League. As always, my name is Hunter Foley, and I'm up here with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith, and we are ready to bring you some Dega racing, baby. One of my favorite races of the year. Not to run always, but definitely to watch and to broadcast. First things first, I want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors. This is the Group 6 Cup Series that we are running here, so thank you and huge shout out to Group 6 for making sure that this series is sponsored and that all of these guys can be out here running and we can be up here in the booth. Group 6 is a leading creative agency, and they are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore the wide range of services they offer at group6inc.com. That is GROUP, the number 6inc.com, and see how they can help drive your digital success. Again, huge shout out to Group 6 for being the series sponsor this year. We are also very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's here in the Doghouse Racing League. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Make sure you stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. And as you heard there at the beginning, this is the Nap Daddy Racing Designs 200 here at Dega. Myself and John actually make up Nap Daddy Racing, so on top of doing all of the broadcasting, originally Nap Daddy Racing started as an iRacing design shop, and we have expanded to try to be your one-stop shop for all of your iRacing needs. Check out our website, which is napdaddyracing.com, KNAPPDADDYRACING.com, for all of your custom design, template, or logo needs. And be sure to grab the free content that is available on the site as well. And even if you're not into iRacing yourself, be sure to grab a t-shirt or a hat to support the brand. Check us out here on Doghouse Racing TV every single Thursday for the Doghouse Racing League, on our own channel on Monday nights, and we go live on TikTok as often as we can. Been a little less often here recently, but we are extremely proud to be a part of the Doghouse Racing League and part of this broadcast. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss a single second of any of the action that Doghouse Racing TV is putting out. And be sure to get in the comments and cheer on your driver. We love reading it. They love hearing it. And it's one of the best parts of being up here. So thank you all very, very much. We got 8 people in here right now. Thank you all very much for joining with us for Dega. We got a big crowd out here tonight. John, talk Dega to the people.
Man, I don't know how I feel about Dega. I got such a love-hate relationship with this track. I mean, sometimes it's good to you, and that's when it's great, but other times it's not great. I mean, I think about 90% of the time it's not great for me. But some drivers know how to make it work, and I'm excited to see what these drivers can do here tonight. I think there's a few drivers we can definitely look for to make this thing work, especially all those guys from that Beast Mode Performance team. Usually work very well together, can get to the front and know how to draft well together, and take that thing home. So guys like Andrew St. Cyr, looking for him to have a big run. Kevin Thompson also usually does really good here with his teammate. We talked to Adam Thompson last week. He's had 2 good runs, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, 2 good runs back to back. I think he was laps down at Bristol and just drove it back through the pack to finish 4th. So look out for him too. But there's also other drivers. I mean, Dega's such a toss-up, kind of like Daytona. You can win here. You can, I hate to say this way, you can almost luck yourself into a win here. And that's kind of what some drivers might be looking for tonight. I know when I come to Talladega, that's exactly what I look for. Like, hopefully I get lucky tonight. Hopefully my number's pulled and we can end up at the front at the end and get a good shot. So I think some drivers are looking to do that to get some points on the board tonight.
Dega really is about being in the right place at the right time. Like you said, there is a huge luck aspect that comes into it for sure, but it's really about just making sure that you find your drafting partners, make sure you get down pit road safely, and that you avoid the big one. We are going to be doing, I believe it's 75 laps here tonight at Dega. We will have stage breaks at 24 and 47. Those are just stages for points. We do not do a caution stage in this league, but sure to be a lot of action. And like you were kind of just talking about, it's about being in the right place at the right time. And at Dega, that can be at the front. At Dega, that can also be in 8th place with some heat behind you. So you never know.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm about to say, and as we go on too, we'll kind of talk about some of these strategies that these guys are going to employ to get to the front. I know a lot of this relies on the draft, but there is some tricks you can have up your sleeve to really help out maximize your performance here tonight. As we were just about to wrap up practice here, watching some of these drivers get the last few seconds in of some practice pushing and some practice being pushed and see how much their car can take. But it looks like we're about to head to qualifying here. Qualifying is kind of a toss-up for me as well because I have no idea how to qualify at a Superspeedway. It seems like just whichever way the wind is blowing, it's whichever way I'll qualify that night. So I know some guys definitely know a trick. I think they'll use it here and you'll see some differences on the board. But I mean, I don't understand how these people drive so fast here.
Yeah, they're putting down some spicy times right now. I was just looking at some of the practice times that were coming in, and I do see Bruce Martin over in the comments. For whatever reason, I thought it was the 200. It's a 250, so Bruce, you are correct. It is 94 laps. So, got me on that one.
Hold up,
from what I was seeing,
I'm about to get you again. I think it's the 201. No, wait, I've got my dates wrong here.
I was gonna say, if it's the 201, then we
we're
turbo screwed up.
Yeah. No, okay. So the way that my schedule's looking right here is that the name of the event is like 2 rows above. I guess it's just the way the computer is sitting right now. But yeah, so we are the 250 right now.
Which would mean that, Bruce, you were absolutely correct with the 94. So good on that quick math, Bruce. Well done. But I think this one's going to be, we're seeing the qualifying times get out there and start to see some really fast times come in. Like you were talking about earlier, I do think that the Beast Mode Performance guys always work really well together at super speedways. I think some other guys to watch out for. You definitely have to look out for Andrew St. Cord, like you were saying as well. One of the people that I want to kind of keep an eye on here, especially tonight as well, is Josh Cully. He has, I believe, the last 3 races, and he's not out on the qualifying track just yet. So I'm saying that all of this before he actually gets out there and puts down a qualifying time. But he consistently for the last 3 weeks has gone out there, been towards the back third of the pack at the start of the race, and has 3 straight top 10s.
Yeah, the guy is fast. I'm looking at some of these names here. There's a lot of newcomers, not a lot, but a few newcomers I haven't seen before, haven't seen in a while that are coming back tonight. So seeing what they can do. Another guy I'm kind of interested in seeing too is Mark Dumont here. I know we don't talk about him a whole lot during the broadcast and everything, but him and his teammate Richard Leclerc have kind of been putting down some laps this year. Made some big improvements, especially as the teammates. They can work together, they can get to the front. They might actually have a chance to win this one here tonight if they do work well together.
100%. And then obviously I think we also need to look out for the likes of, pulling up my track list here, apologies, but I do think we have some people like Justin McMahon, who's always run very well here in the Doghouse Racing League. Eric Warman, always very fast. You're going to see him moving up towards the front of the pack as the race goes on, without a doubt. Seth Fitzpatrick has been incredibly fast this year, and realistically could probably have 2 wins under his belt. He's never afraid to roll the dice, and it's always been right there for him. So excited to see what he's going to be trying to put out tonight in that regard. And then also Shane Parrish. Shane Parrish was our first two-time winner in the Doghouse Racing League this year, and run into a little bit of bad luck the past couple weeks. So he's, I think, slipped back just a little bit in the points, but definitely going to be one to watch out for here.
Other guy too. I mean, he's also with a beast mode performance. So Gary Clune actually won our race at Daytona to kick off the whole season with our clash at Daytona. And that won't by chance. He ran a great race all night, got to the front, and ended up winning that whole thing. Same thing with a guy like Chris Simon. I raced with him Tuesday night here at this track. He knows how to get around this track as well. Got some teammates on his side and the likes of Jonathan Jennings, Mike Leftwich, Chris Leftwich, so they could all be working together to push that team to the front.
100%. And it looks like at least we do still have some drivers that do need to qualify, but Gary put down a great time out there. Very tight on the qualifying times for what we have coming through right now.
And speaking
I see
of
BMAC
that,
as always. I was getting ready to say I was gonna do a lead in, man. I saw BMAC in the comments as always, supporting Andrew, saying welcome back. Not a fan of the weeks off. Have a great night, Team Beast Mode. Keep an eye on number 12. Go Andrew. He just qualified with the fastest time we've had so far, and it is by 13 100ths.
yeah, I was trying to get around to that. We were talking about that beast mode performance team and how well they run here, and here's Andrew St. Corp at the front. Gary Clune, Shane Parrish is actually not a part of that beast mode performance team anymore. He did leave on his own accord, is what we were told, that he wanted to do, I guess, an independent style driving or start his own team, I believe is what it was. So he kind of left that team, not with BMP anymore, but I feel like he'll be working with them. I feel like he's picked up some tips and tricks from them. He's probably shared his tips and tricks as well to help them out. But guys like Kevin Thompson as well, also part of that team. Man, every time I race here, especially in the next gens with Doghouse, I always see Andrew St. Cor and Kevin Thompson near the front.
100%. And then I don't know if we've talked about Adam Thompson yet. I mean, Adam Thompson's been wildly consistent this year. Always getting up to the front. Drove his way back from, I think, 12 laps down a few weeks ago and ended up coming in third place. And a great interview. So I'm looking for big things out of Adam here tonight. But realistically, when you're here at Dega, all of the talking and strategizing and who you think might win or might not win before the race is kind of all bunk because you do not know what's going to happen.
Yeah, especially for me, man. I might wreck on the first lap. I might wreck on the first lap. I might wreck on the last lap. You just never know.
And we are not doing fast repairs, I believe, anymore. So if you get busted out early at Dega, that's going to be your night.
Let's see. Trying to see how long qualifying. Usually qualifying is 5 minutes, and it takes about a good 5 minutes total to qualify here. So looks like they might have extended that time out to give drivers a little bit more time to get around.
Yeah, it looks like they still do have a little bit over 2 minutes left in qualifying, but also looks like only two drivers have not put down a qualifying time, and that is Gary Armijo and Josh Cully currently. But I'm not sure if they're going to let them go out there and get a lap in, or if we're just going to go ahead and get this thing started. But
yeah, and that's a strategy as well that a lot of people play, is they will not qualify and just sit towards the back. Might be easier to do if you do have a charter in this league, knowing that you're going to be in no matter what. But there's 38 drivers tonight. I don't think any more is going to join, so it looks like all these guys are going to be safe for the night at least. But definitely playing it close if you don't get out there and get a qualifying lap.
100%. And like you said, it is a strategy at Dega to be kind of farther towards the back because you have more of an opportunity to be able to see any sort of cautions or trouble opening up in front of you, and you can just kind of ride it to the end and make a push. You and I both know that at Dega, you can be in 15th on the last lap and be able to make a push as long as you have the right teammates around you. And speaking of good teammates, I saw Adam Thompson pop into the chat. He said, you guys can pull me up for an interview during the race if you can figure it out. Have fun up there, boys. Hope you didn't pick me to win.
No, I'm not picking him to win tonight.
For anyone that's missing out on the inside joke there, John has had a pretty consistent run here of whenever he picks someone to win, something blows up. And it's typically not good.
I think I'm like 0 for 8 right now.
Yeah, and it's not even just because I think I've only done one correct, but the people you've picked to win, their cars are broken. But looks like we are getting gridded up here right now. So we will be able to go ahead and throw up the qualifying times on the screen so you'll be able to see where your favorite driver's starting.
Before we do that, I do have Jamie Horn up here in the booth with us for a second. Jamie, you got a copy with us?
Yes, sir, I do.
I thought we had a warm-up period, so I won't hold you too long here. But I was going to ask you some questions about tonight. You did qualify pretty well up here at the front. Dega's always a toss-up for everybody. Is there anybody specific you're looking to work with tonight or any strategy you want to employ?
Nobody, I guess, in specific. Most of my team isn't here other than if I can get with Zach Miller and Zach Michael. Probably work with them. And obviously, me and Jonathan usually work pretty well together at these tracks. So if we can get together at some point, I'm sure you'll see me and him work together as much as we can. But it's more of a survival, especially the first half of it. Pretty good at these tracks usually, but I always find trouble at some point. So try to avoid that tonight.
Yeah, I understand that. I feel like I find trouble every time I hit a super speedway pavement. So I was going to ask you as well, what does the fuel strategy look like for tonight coming in? I haven't ran it here with these next-gen cars in a while and don't know how much gas is in the tank.
So I think, I mean, depending on what the pace ends up being, I'd probably go about 34, 35 laps. I definitely want to try to get through the first stage and pit somewhere shortly after that, probably. But I don't have a definite plan yet, so I don't know what the plan is going to be, but somewhere around probably 30 to 35, we'll call it that.
I feel like not having a plan at Dega is pretty typical.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't never have a plan. It's if I do have a plan, it doesn't work as planned. So
yeah, just got to roll with it. Last question before I let you go. Do we have fast repairs tonight?
we do not. So got to stay out of trouble.
Yes, sir. Well, good luck to you tonight. I'm going to let you go so you can get this pace lap in. But good luck out there, and we look forward to seeing you up here at the end of the race.
Alrighty. Y'all have a good night. Have fun.
You too.
Have a good night, Jamie.
Yes.
Jamie Horn coming up here, giving us an interview really quick, answering a few of our questions for us. I appreciate that. Pull up the grid really quick while we are on this back stretch.
Got K-Doggy in the chat saying, what's up, boys? What's up?
K-Doggy?
Good to have you in here.
Starting off on your lead row tonight, you got Andrew St. Cyr with Jamie Horn in second, Shane Parrish 3, Gary Clune in fourth, Nick Alford in fifth, Chris Simon 6th, Scott Bailey 7th, Kevin Thompson 8th. Next row is going to be Seth Fitzpatrick, Adam Thompson, Mike Leftwich, and Doug Vertrees, newcomer for tonight. Eric Anderson and Brian Messer 13 and 14, Jonathan Jennings and Cameron King. Next row is going to be Daniel Wilkerson and Zach Michael, Adam Gardner, Chris Leftwich in 20th, Justin McMahon in 21st, Nick Shell 22nd, Joe McKnight 23rd, Brian Dixon 24th, Bill Hull and Bill Gentry going to make up the next row. Then Paul Buchanan, Tony Martin, Eric Warman, Matthew Paddock, Zach Miller, Michael Dow, Nick Atwood, John Gannass, Richard Leclerc, and Mark Dumont. And that was just about perfect timing as we're about to go green here.
We are lining them up, and they are about to get going.
Green
Ladies and
flag.
gentlemen, welcome to Dega. It's green flag racing time.
Kind of impressed with that timing there, but going back to the racing here, we got a really good jump out here by Andrew St. Cyr on that low line coming around. Got Shane Parrish right behind him and Nick Alford on that low line behind him.
Seems like the boys are just trying to get lined up right now and figure out where they're going to go from here. At this point, it's going to be just green flag racing. Any trouble is just people trying to get moved around and try to maybe find their spot in the line here. Everyone's just trying to get going and figure out where things are. Low line looks like it has a huge run right now. We see Andrew St. Cyr, Jamie Horn, Shane Parrish, Gary Clune all on that bottom line. Or I'm sorry, Jamie Horn's on the top side, actually. And he's got Gary Clune right behind him.
Gary is pushing right now.
He is. That's Dega racing right there. Got Nick Alford down there on the bottom side. And then he's got the 48 right behind him of Scott Bailey.
Gary Clune is not wasting any time right now. Trying to get up to his teammate up there at the front.
He is ready to push, and he is pushing Jamie Horn. Everyone's keeping it in a really great line right now.
I do see Kevin Thompson up there at the top in that 6 car. I don't know if that was intentional or if a bump brought him up there, but he's going to fall probably all the way back. I don't think nobody's going to let him out.
Yeah, I think he might have gotten just a little bit loose there. But he is now stuck on that top side, and he is sliding all the way back to the back.
I feel like Talladega is just a little bit wider than Daytona. I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not, but it kind of feels wider as you're going
It
around
at least
the curve.
races like it.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have some space out here. I know the track is at 2.66, whereas Daytona is a 2.51 track. And that is the wall length. Believe this track, if you measure the inside, is about 2.5, or I'm sorry, 2.60, so about 6/10 shorter, just taking that inside line.
Pulling that math out of there is pretty crazy.
Is that
very
6/10?
impressed?
Well, it's 600s actually, not 6/10, but Jamie's up here in second place behind Shane Parrish, giving a really good bump.
Also, fun fact for anyone that is out here tonight enjoying this racing, and we appreciate it. There's 12 people in here right now. Thank you for being here with us. The NFL draft is going on right now, and Cam Ward just got drafted #1 by the Titans. That's the first Miami player taken with the first pick in the NFL draft since 1991. And the Jaguars have actually made a trade up to the #2 spot.
Wonder who they're going to take. I say that sarcastically. I think it's pretty obvious.
Who do you think they're going to take?
The old Boise running back.
You think it's Genty?
Yeah.
I don't know that I thought that Cam Ward was going to go #1. And I know we're supposed to be talking about racing, but I feel like that's a little unexpected.
It's draft night. Speaking of draft night, check out this segue. We're drafting here 2 wide going down Talladega. And look at the bumps up here to 41 car.
That was well played on every level, buddy. Good job.
Mike Leftwich making his way up here to the front, too, in that 4th row in the bottom side there. It's kind of the hard thing about Talladega and Daytona and the Superspeedways. I mean, he's in the 4th row back in 9th place right now.
And they're actually a little bit more separated than I maybe thought they would be. They're not doing a whole lot of pushing. This is trouble here, though. The third lane opened up. Andrew St. Cyr was going to get left out to dry, but the number 11 comes up right there. That's Gary Clune, and he's got him.
That's a good teammate.
That was a great job right there by him. That didn't look planned to me. That looked like someone maybe got a little bit loose, and it looked like Andrew was going to be in a little bit of trouble there for a second because they were tight going into that turn.
A duo that I think could be really, really fast here. If I can zoom into them right here is Chris Simon, Adam Thompson working together.
That's a dynamic duo right there.
They also got
We do
Tommy
have-
Jennings right below him.
We do, and we're seeing that front pack start to break away just a little bit. They are pushing like crazy. It's going to be Shane Parrish, Jamie Horn, Nick Elford, and Mike Leftwich. And they are just parading around this thing. I also just realized we were talking about Adam not wanting you to pick him before the race started, but we didn't actually make our picks. So if you want, I'll go ahead and lead it off.
All right.
I'm going. And I'm just looking at the track here and where people are currently and kind of making my pick based directly off of that. Going Daniel Wilkerson.
I love it. I believe Daniel has won here before, too.
Daniel has won at Talladega before. It was last year, I believe. Been a minute since he's had a Doghouse Racing League win, but he's always putting so much time and invested into all the other drivers, making sure that it's one of, if not the best ran league that we've ever seen. But 10th place, very comfortable, just kind of chilling. Oh, and again, it's Talladega. He's in 13th now. Oh no. You're 9 laps into Talladega. A lot of time here. I think it's a good spot. He's always a very safe driver, runs very consistently. I can see there being some stuff happen. Daniel Wilkerson won it out at the end.
Yeah, and you got to think, too, something I don't think gets talked about enough is while Daniel is actually driving here, he is also running race control, clearing black flags for people, making sure that the race order is right. A lot of stuff goes into it, man. Enough stuff goes into it where I don't want to do it in broadcast at the same time. And he's out here driving a car and doing it at the same time. And not just driving a car, but being competitive at driving it too. So, can't say enough about that. I don't think it gets talked about enough how much he does. There is other admins in the league that also help out with race control. But, yeah, that's something I would not do. Something I would not want to do.
So as we see the leaders, they are coming around. I think Justin McMahon might have had some internet issues right as we were getting this race started. So he is the only driver currently a lap down. And I think the pack is starting to catch up to him, and he just came over the radio and said he is going down on the low side. I got Sean Thompson in the chat saying Travis Hunter. Is that who the Jaguars traded up to get, or is that your bet?
I'm curious too. And I always say Genty because they just got that new coach that's all about the whole running back thing, so. Look at Seth Fitzpatrick trying to make a run here on the outside. He's going to take over first place. They're coming up on Justin McMahon pretty fast. St. Cyr to the outside, going to take first place away here.
He is great move by him to use that lap traffic there. Keep an eye on McMahon. McMahon's doing a great job making sure that people get around him safely. But this is usually when we can see some trouble here. Sean Thompson on the comment saying that that was his bet for Travis Hunter. We are about to see if you're correct.
I haven't even made my pick yet, man.
You haven't.
Tough one. It is a tough one. I want to go with somebody I know is pretty good here consistently, and looking for somebody that's going to be a little aggressive there at the end. I'm trying to find it. So my pick tonight is going to be Chris Leftwich.
Okay, Chris Leftwich.
Chris is super fast driver. He's also an aggressive driver. That's what you got to be here. You got to be fast. You got to be aggressive there at the end. I think Chris
We
Leftwich
also
gets it
do
done.
have a new race leader as well, Seth Fitzpatrick. As he has done so many times over the past couple weeks, now finding himself in the lead here on lap 13 here at Dega. Also, Sean Thompson, I hope you use whatever applications are legal in your state to make a wager on that, because Travis Hunter is number 2 in the draft to the Jaguars.
That's crazy. Oh, somebody spinning hot. Chris Leftwich spinning behind. Hopefully he saved it, didn't hit the wall. I saw him spinning around. I also see the 17 car of Richard Leclerc there as well.
And there's your first Talladega caution.
I don't know what happened there. Usually that's like kind of a safer area. Looking at that damage on the side of Richard Leclerc's car, we can go over here to Chris Leftwich. I actually don't see a lot of damage. If we can see if we can walk around his car. And that right
I'm not
rear,
seeing too much either.
right front looks pretty clean. Left front looks pretty clean. Maybe he didn't hit the wall at all. Let's go back and look at that caution here.
Take a little look-see.
They were 4 wide, actually.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Four wide. Chris is in there. Kind of looked like a little bit of net code might have got him hooked up to begin with. Chris did take some damage, probably to that left rear quarter panel.
Yeah, I agree with you. It does definitely look like there's a little bit of net code there. iRacing's pretty good. It's not perfect. You do have internet issues that are going to run into it. Can definitely see how the 13's going to have some damage there, as well as the 117, but definitely doesn't help when you're packed in there like potted meat in the sun.
Yeah, it looks like that first little connection they had, it's kind of hard to see, but it can kind of hook the car here. And it looks like maybe some net code got them together, and then that caused the spin. Because, I mean, this car shouldn't have been really going that way.
Yeah, no, not ideal.
And I do know that iRacing has been having a little bit of issues today. Actually had a little bit of a crash and had to shut down for a second.
I was actually hearing rumors there were some like DDoS issues, or like someone might have been attacking the website kind of thing, but
Would not be the
looks
first
like we
one.
have. I know, which is crazy. You can confirm this for me since you have the stats, but it's looking like a lot of people did end up coming down pit road. This is lap 16 this time by. We do have a stage coming up at lap 24. Reminder, that is not a caution stage. It's just for points. But I believe only the top 3 currently stayed out and did not pit.
I am trying to see. It usually takes a second for my pit stop updater to update for me.
And the Doghouse Racing League is also a self-policed league. If you are the cause of any of the cautions, you can either call it on yourself or others may do it for you if you're maybe a little quiet on the microphone, but it looks like Chris Leftwich is taking the EOL for that caution. Not a call out of, doing something dumb or anything like that. It's just that maybe the caution wouldn't have happened if you hadn't have done what you had done, kind of a thing. And I think that's one of the things that makes the Doghouse Racing League one of the best out there. These guys are very honest. They kind of police each other, make sure that they run as safe of a league as possible. So huge shout out to them for that.
Yeah, I believe everybody pitted except for Mike Leftwich, Kevin Thompson, Andrew St. Cyr. I saw somebody else, Doug Vertrees, but he is now on pit road. And
Sean, I love this game that we're playing in the comments of where you're placing your bets on who's going to go next in the draft. He had bet on Shedeur Sanders going to the Giants. It is actually going to be Abdul Carter, the defensive end from Penn State. That guy is a problem. I think he's going to be, inside of 3 years, going to be one of the top 5 defensive ends in the NFL. I also understand that I watch a lot more college football than you, so that might be a little lost.
To who? To me?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew about him.
Because he's a dog.
Yeah.
Sean again in the comments. I missed that one. Back to racing. Go Kevin Thompson.
Kevin Thompson and his teammate St. Cyr right up here at the front. Trying to find Gary Clune sitting back in P8. Down 4 spots, but looking like he's probably going to get back up there, hoping to get with his teammates again. Also got Seth Fitzpatrick. There you go. I'm going to lead you up to it.
Yeah, we got Seth Fitzpatrick coming in at 4th, Jonathan Jennings in 5th, Scott Bailey 6th, Jamie Horn 7, Gary Clune 8, Adam Gardner 9, and Shane Parrish 10, and that's going to make up your top 10 currently. Daniel Wilkerson, my pick, currently sitting in 13th position. And you went with Chris Leftwich, correct?
I did.
Got Steve Goes Racing in the comments saying, Jamie Horn is my favorite race car driver. And a nice guy to boot.
I was about to say mine too, honestly.
While we get back to this restart and see a huge push out of the 12 of Andrew St. Cyr onto Mike Leftwich, and they really get that thing going. Andrew St. Cyr trying to run with him up there on the high side. Now he's got some help from the number 6 of Kevin Thompson. I was actually going to use that opportunity to say that while we try our very best here at Nap Daddy Racing to be the very best broadcasters we can be, this is technically our first year of broadcasting, and Jamie Horn's been a huge help, always willing to answer our questions, sacrifice his own time to come up here and help us, so huge shout out to him. Not only is he very, very good at iRacing, but real gem of a human, too. So, shout out you, Jamie.
Look at this move by Seth Fitzpatrick, ducking into the bottom side. Scott Bailey in that 48 car is going to follow right behind. I'm wondering which side Gary Clune's going to pick. Goes to the high side with his teammates.
Let me see that middle lane right there pushing. That's the 48 and the 41. Scott Bailey and Seth Fitzpatrick trying to fire their way up the middle. Well, they look like they actually have some heat down there in that middle lane.
Oh, no.
Top lane looks like it might be just a little bit shaky. I think they might be trying to hook up right behind there.
Yeah, I was hoping they would stay on that high side, keep it going. I feel like they would have had a really good run together. They got Eric Anderson, Adam Gardner behind them. Good. It's a smart move, but as a fan, I want to see what those 3 guys can do together between St. Cyr, Thompson, and Clune.
And this race is tight right now. These guys are all completely locked in right now. We are less than a second back, going all the way back to 20th. Steve Goes Racing saying, wish I could have raced tonight. Stephen B. That's Stephen Bonomo. Wish you could have raced tonight too, buddy.
Yeah, I don't see Steven out here. Well, Steven, you're welcome up in the booth if you want to talk a little bit.
Come say hey.
Watching just how close Jonathan Jennings is right now on the back end of Mike Leftwich, pushing him forward, keeping him out front.
He also says, great broadcast, dudes. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. Thank you.
I feel like I've been a little bit off this week just because we did have that gap week, and then I had a sick child that got sick, got better, then got sick again, and then got me sick. So it's been
we see it
blast.
looks like that middle lane was trying to open up again. I saw St. Core stick his nose out there. He's leaving that 48 and that 41 out in the middle again. And it looks like he's got some help to make it happen.
I'm telling you, man, I think they just give it a shot real quick. They can make a good run here. Oh,
in the wall, in the wall. I say it looked like the 41 of Seth Fitzpatrick might have gotten a little bit loose as well. It looks like that middle lane is sliding back quick.
Look how fast they are. I wonder if they're going to drop into that middle line.
They have the space for it at this point.
Now, if you remember, though, St. Core at the Daytona race earlier this year told us that there was this iRacing update that high side plays very well.
It's looking like it has a ton of speed, but it looks like you need help there to get it going. And most of the field 3 wide here at Dega on lap 23. After lap 24 is when we will have the stage end for the points. Who's going to be the winner of the first stage? Mike Leftwich in the lead right now, but he's got Jonathan Jennings right behind him. Who's going to be out here getting these points? Steven says he'll be back for Texas next week. He's with some family tonight, or he'd be racing. Well, hope you have fun with the family tonight, buddy. Looking forward to having you back in Texas. It's looking a little bit like the 48 and the 41. Maybe they're just having a lot of side drafting from the different lines on both sides. But it looks like about the time they really start getting a fast run, one of them gets a little bit loose on entry, and it just sends the whole line back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of space in between them, though. I'm not sure how much the side draft would have to play on those stretches there.
But coming into the end of lap 24, we have some people making a move here. Mike left with Jonathan Jennings on the bottom side. Jamie Horn, Shane Parrish pushing him. Who's going to win the stage?
It's Jamie Horn's got it. Oh, Mike Leftwich is around.
Mike Leftwich is around. He was getting pushed by Jonathan Jennings there. It looked like he just got a little bit loose as they were trying to get into entry right there. Jamie Horn going to get those bonus points for winning the stage.
His car looks damaged. Yeah, he can't hold the wheel straight. He's just trying to limp it back around to pit road so he don't have to take that 2-minute penalty for the caution. Or 2-minute penalty for the towing, I'm sorry.
And again, there is no fast repair here. So Mike Leftwich, unfortunately, going to be in a really tough spot.
Yeah, that car
as
is
the rest of the night goes on. I would estimate that at 5 to 6 minutes of repair, which is going to put him several laps down here.
That might be a good 10 to 15 on that one.
Also, to keep the little draft updates going, Will Campbell out of LSU, the tackle, goes to the New England Patriots. Cleveland Browns are now on the clock in the number 5 spot that they got from Jacksonville. They swapped spots. Jacksonville went up to 2. Cleveland went back to 5. We have a caution.
That's Seth Fitzpatrick. And I missed it because I was sitting here looking to try to get back to see what happened with Mike Leftwich. And as soon as I found the event, this caution comes out. It messed up my whole thing. So I'm going to try to find both of those for y'all so we can see what happened with both. I do have a notification. Chris Leftwich did go off the track there.
I did hear Joe McKnight in the 51 car in the 7th spot come over the radio, said, don't know what happened, don't know who it was, but someone came across my nose. I couldn't go any lower.
Oh.
I am able to hear the driver radio. For anyone that maybe this is your first time here, I am able to hear the driver radio. And I serve as kind of the both joy and anger translator for the radio. Again, you have a lot of adults out here, very competitive. Sometimes the language gets a little salty. Want to make sure that you can still watch this thing with your kids.
Try to back up.
For example, I just heard Adam Thompson come over the radio say, I think I pooped my pants.
Yeah, I just saw Thompson kind of getting to the side of Tony Martin there. A little bit closer to where this actually happened at. I can't tell. It looks like Joe comes up just a little bit in his lane. Yeah, he does. And I believe that initial contact might have been, again, a little bit of netcode, but Joe did come up into the side of Fitzpatrick at first. I think that's what got Fitzpatrick around. Adam Thompson trying to avoid, jumps up to the top, hits Tony Martin. And then Chris Leftwich just trying to avoid everything. Tries to dive low too late right into the side of Seth Fitzpatrick. He's going to have some damage. Trying to figure out who that 44 car was. That is Paul Buchanan. I'm not sure how much damage he is going to have.
Looks like Eric Warman got into the back of the 51 there, so we are definitely going to have some guys down on pit road dealing with some damage here. Like you said, I think it looks like a little bit of net code there to start the whole thing off.
Yeah, I mean, Joe definitely came up in his lane to start that. I think that was more of him coming up than Fitzpatrick coming down, but again, I don't agree. I also think a little bit of net code might have gotten them hooked up and connected. I have been having some problems with iRacing's connection today as well, so...
Yeah, and if you do see some cars kind of jumping in and out on the screen while watching at home, iRacing's been having some internet issues and network issues today. So there is a little bit more jumpiness than there typically would be. We apologize for that. Unfortunately, nothing we can do about that. Did see Adam Thompson there, like you said, with a big dodge there. Unfortunately, it looks like it did cause a little bit more trouble back behind there. But, again, we've all kind of been there where you're trying to avoid the wreck and your eyes are locked down on one thing at the bottom of the track, and maybe they're not up towards the top where there might be somebody else.
And I wish I could find... While we're still single file here, just what happened with Mike Leftwich. Alright, he was still in the lead here. I know we're coming around to the end of this. But we're way past this one.
We do have 20 people out there watching the stream right now. So first of all, thank you all very, very much for being here. We really appreciate it. Again, huge shout out to all of our sponsors while we're here looking at some replays. This is the Group 6 Cup Series. So big and huge shout out to Group 6 for making sure that this thing stays up and running. Big shout out to Shoney's. We have a Shoney's racing team out here, but Shoney's is also a sponsor of the league. So thank you to Shoney's. I guess thank you to us because we are Nap Daddy Racing. So we're just delighted to be here. Thank you all for being here with us while we broadcast this here thing. And then shout out to Butt Kicker as well, big sponsor of this series as well. So thank you to them. A little bit of a fun update here. I don't know if it's fun or just an update, but Seth Fitzpatrick took the EOL for that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I am looking here back at this accident with Jonathan Jennings. Mike Leftwich did go down, hit the wall pretty hard on the inside. I mean, it looks like just a bump in the tri-oval. Nothing that actually looked like serious, but just enough to get him loose and turned. And we do have the pace car off, so we are about to go back green here as soon as they hit that Geico restart zone.
I hear you out here trying to get that Geico sponsorship.
I'm working hard for it.
We are green flag racing again here at Dega. Lap 30 this time by. Jamie Horn takes the green flag there. Got Scott Bailey and Shane Parrish right behind him. Jonathan Jennings in 4th and Adam Thompson in 5th. Andrew St. Cor in 6th place. See St. Cor moving up, though. He's trying to get latched onto that lead pack. He's going to move into 4th. You got Shane Parrish there on the high side. He's leading the train on that high side. And he's got, I believe that's Jonathan Jennings right behind him. Looked like the low side got a much better restart here.
Cycling back here to Michael Dow in that 20s car, the Celsius from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Michael's been in the league for a little bit now. He's been here longer than I have, that's for sure. And he is up 17 spots tonight.
It's going to make him our current biggest mover, I believe.
It's not. You know who our biggest mover is? You talked about him earlier.
Nope, I just saw it.
Yep, Josh Cully.
Tag on my mental math.
Up 30 spots tonight.
Tell you what, Josh Cully is the start at the back and move to the front professional. He's done that for 3 weeks straight now. And every single time races clean, gets himself to the front, and is always in contention. He's going to be he's got to be on the one to watch list for the rest of the season. That bottom line has a ton of heat, but we see some guys getting a little bit squirrely down there. Got K Doggy in the chat saying I might be racing Texas next week as well. Man, that'd be cool. Just hoping to make it home to race tonight. Looking forward to having you back in the field, man.
Always a good time when K Doggy comes to hang out. Get Steven back next week at Texas as well. Gotten where I'm starting to like Texas just a little bit more. I think the more that I hate Atlanta, the more I like Texas. Is how it goes.
I think that's fair. You know, K-Dog, you've had a race or two in your time, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and what a move there. The 66 of Shane Parrish jumps around the side of Jonathan Jennings. That almost looked planned, like they were trying to just shuffle up the drafting order a little bit.
Yeah, the start to space out right now. I was trying to go back to one of these Hot Lap Heroes guys and Cameron King. I think he has potential to be at the front later on tonight. Sitting in P18 right now. I mean, realistically, when you're at Daytona and Talladega, your position means nothing at this stage of the race.
Yeah, you're just trying to make it to. We do have a stage at 47, so you're trying to be in a position to get those extra bonus points. But mostly you're just trying to be safe. And I mean, again, at Dega, we've seen a couple accidents already, but nothing too serious, as at least compared to what we've seen before at Talladega. So these guys are just trying to figure out their place in the world right now, try to find somebody that they can run with towards the end of the race. Make some friends, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, like, lap 34 and 94, I could be in 78th place. As long as I can see the leader and I'm with the pack that the leader's with, I really don't mind where I'm at this stage of the race. So, I mean, you know you can get there in a matter of a lap or two, depending on how far back you are. But even here, I mean, sometimes it just takes turn 4. So when we come to this end of this race, man, it's going to be a shootout.
Sometimes that's all it takes. But we were talking earlier about how the high side looked like it had a ton of speed. It looks like most everybody's kind of staying on the low side now. I do see those 3 cars on the high side right now working their way. They are working their way towards the front. That's going to be the 56 of Adam Gardner, pushed by the 66 of Shane Parrish. And they got the 71 of Adam Thompson. I mean, that's 3 very, very fast cars up there on the high side. But it seems like everybody else is just kind of working the bottom side right now. You got 2 pretty big movers up there towards the front as well. Josh Cully up from 37th into 5th place here on lap 36. It's incredible. Also got Adam Gardner, who started 19th, is in 6th place right now. Good to see these guys starting to make a move. And here's the high side starting to make a move. Andrew St. Cyr to the lead, pushed by the 11 of Gary Clune.
Yeah, try to look at it from his back bumper, the camera up there, and Gary Clune is so close you can almost see through his car there.
TK Doggy in the chat saying overheating. Maybe that was in reference to when we saw the shuffle between Jonathan Jennings and Shane Parrish back there a couple laps ago. Also, Ashton Genty just went off the draft board.
I've been really impressed tonight with Gary Clune's pushes that he is giving.
He's done a really great job. And it's always in exactly the right spot, and he's not moving too much. We broadcasted a Talladega race the other night, and we saw mostly cautions from bad pushes. And again, it's not like a dig or anything like that. It's, you think you have the speed, you want to go throw a push, and it just ends up something goes a little sideways. Unless we see someone get a little bit loose there. I think that was Adam Gardner.
Yeah, he almost got him in the accordion there. When that third person starts to give the push, sometimes it makes that accordion effect. We'll push Clune up into St. Cyr, and then Clune would end up getting turned there.
And that bottom side has a ton of heat right now. Again, now you have Andrew St. Cyr leading the train on this thing. Gary Clune in second, Adam Gardner third. Adam Thompson in fourth. Shane Parrish in that 66 machine in fifth. And Jamie Horn latched on right there behind him. Got Josh Cully right behind him in seventh position, trying to catch back up to the bumper of Jamie Horn. Looking like that top line might have a little bit of heat back behind it. It's a 48 of Scott Bailey and Jonathan Jennings trying to work their way back up there. We do have a couple of drivers that are either still trying to get some damage repaired or who have called themselves out of the race. Tony Martin in the number 2 Miller Light machine is on pit road, 3 laps down with some damage. Doug Vertrees has called himself out of the race. Chris Leftwich and Mike Leftwich are not both out. I believe Chris has called himself out. Mike is still on pit road, 13 laps down. Richard Leclerc in the 117 is 23 laps down and 37th. and Gary Armijo is 37 laps down in 38th. And Andrew St. Cyr and Gary Clune were pushing really well for a second there, but here comes Jamie Horn and Josh Cully with a head of steam.
Josh Cully wants that high side. He jumps up to the top, gets around Jamie Horn.
That was beautifully done, but then they shuffled on him up top.
St. Cyr wants no part of that there.
St. Cyr gets right behind Cully.
That's going to be St. Cyr and Clune, and it's like Adam Gardner up there on that high side, falling back a little bit.
They are going to slip back a little bit, and you are going to have a new race leader. We were talking about him earlier, Josh Cully. Been an absolute menace out there, working his way from the back to the front from 37th, which for everyone's reference, there are 38 cars on the track. And he is in first place with Jamie Horn right behind him, Scott Bailey in third place, Jonathan Jennings fourth, and Adam Thompson in fifth. That was just a great move by Josh right there. He knew he wanted the high side, so he made the move, got up there. They shuffled on him. He worked his way right back down. It was safe. It was clean. It was exactly what you need. I mean, that was textbook. And we are on lap 42 here. We do have a stage break for bonus points at 47. I would have to assume that Cully wants that high side since we saw him looking for it a second ago. I wonder if he maybe tries to stick his bumper out there and see if someone will go with him on the high side, or if they're just going to parade right around him.
What lap is the stage break again?
47. Did you put 36 positions on Josh Cully?
I did.
You spelled it tonight.
My bad. I was trying to type quick, trying to add a little texture to the broadcast, you know, and
That was good. That was good.
I'm trying some things out, man.
And as the, recovering emo kids that we are, love a little tonight. God, the temptation to sing the song.
I know, I don't want you to.
I don't want to. I don't want to subject anyone to that. But you know when someone says, tonight, you know what you want to do.
I don't even remember who sings that now. Well, we're going to figure that out and get back. Some guy that I wanted to pick tonight to win because I know he is aggressive. He was my honorary mention that I should have said earlier. It's Mr. Nick Atwood. Kind of has that same criteria I used to pick Chris Leftwich with. You got to be fast. You got to be aggressive here. Nick is both of those things.
Yeah, Nick's been having a great year, so excited to see how that goes. Jamie Horn goes to the top side looking for a teammate. No one's up there helping him just yet. It looked like Jonathan Jennings might have wanted to come out there. But it looks like they're just going to stay. Oh, no. The Gardner? 56 right there of Gardner goes right around Jamie Horn. Doesn't pick him up. Jamie stuck in the middle lane. He's got help, but they're going to go all the way to the back.
This is a good group of pushers up there. St. Cyr, Gardner, Atwood, Thompson. Then you got Anderson, Warman right behind. Warman goes up to the wall. He's going to fall back.
Anderson also touched the wall there.
I'm sorry, that's Anderson, not Warman.
Lap 45, stage points at 47. Josh Cully being pushed by Scott Bailey. Jonathan Jennings right behind him. And this is where you start thinking about your strategy, maybe even working out what you might want to try to do toward the end of the race. For example, if I'm Thompson here, I wanted to get on the top of, get at the head of that front line there, and try to get paraded right to the front. But Thompson is going to stay down there on that low side, and instead there's going to be a huge push out of the top lane.
Yeah, look at that team dynamic there on the top row. Clune, St. Cyr, Atwood, Thompson. Uh-oh, looks like Brian Dixon jumped out there. I don't know if he got pushed or what. That wasn't Brian Dixon. Looking for that
So
86 car of Matthew Paddock. They got that same color car.
The boys are starting to dance around a little bit now. Everyone's starting to make their moves, trying to get up there and get these stage points. It is at the end of lap 47, so they will have to make it this time by to get the points. But you do have a new race leader, and it's Gary Clune. He's being pushed by Andrew St. Cyr.
And
That high side has found its groove.
Gary does have a win this season in the Group 6 Cup Series, too.
He does, and you said it at the beginning. Gary's one to watch out for in this race. He's definitely going to be very, very dangerous. We see the bottom line starting to pick up some more steam. Got Jonathan Jennings down on that low side.
Nick
Got
Atwood.
the 48.
Nick Atwood.
Oh, and they're getting a little loose.
I'm not sure if you caught it. Nick Atwood comes down, puts the side draft on that bottom line, helps him out a ton on that top side. That's how they're pulling away. And on top of, I believe Cully getting a little loose downstairs too. But
He did. He was almost in trouble there, and then he got picked back up, and that's what started that third lane there.
three wide here, just a few lanes back. It's like Scott Bailey, Jamie Horn, Bill Gentry, the meat of the sandwich.
Yeah, we are very three wide. Everyone's trying to figure out their lane. Bottom lane trying to get one more push as we come back to the flag here.
Jennings,
who's going to get these stage points? Big push out of Jennings. It's going to be Josh Cully. And when you're three wide a day, even as wide as it is, you're going to be getting bounced around there. And it's stressful racing. I mean, if you don't get through Talladega without either having your AC on or working up a sweat, you're built different than me. But I did just hear Bill Gentry come over the radio. And I quote, I feel like the fat kid on the playground right now.
Somebody we haven't talked about tonight, Zach Miller, up here in 4th place right now. He is with Horn Simpson Racing. His race team owner right behind him, and Jamie Horn.
Jamie talked about that at the beginning of the race, wanting to try to get linked up with his teammate. As we see these drivers, they're starting to come up here on that number. I believe that's Tony Martin there that are working their way around. He is 8 laps down right now, and everyone just kind of parades around him. Josh Cully, still your leader, got Jonathan Jennings right behind him. Everyone in a straight line there. Adam Thompson in 3rd place. Zach Miller, like you just said, up to 4th from 31st. And then Jamie Horn right there.
I made sure I put that in there just for you.
Tonight. Thank you. Do you have any guesses, second guesses on who that band was? Comments, feel free. If there's any other recovering emo children out there, the "Tonight Will Be the Night That I Fall For You" song. Who sang that song?
I was.
Yeah, it's 9:03 right now.
I was going to say Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, but I'm positive that is not it.
That is not correct, but they also sing a weirdly feelsy emo song.
Oh,
so
yeah, I know.
it's a good guess.
I was in 6th grade.
I think I listened to that song yesterday. It's still a good song.
She broke my heart. I'm joking. Adam Thompson out here, high side, trying to push it along, get something going.
It got shuffled back a little bit there.
Yeah, he's looking for a bump from Bill Hole right behind him. Adam Garner's been pushing pretty good tonight. You got Nick Atwood behind that. Hopefully they can get something going here. Zach Miller up 28 spots now in P3. Electing to go with that low line behind Jonathan Jennings. Jennings has been in second like all night. You think that's by design?
It's just he's waiting for his opportunity, man. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've been spotting for you at a Superspeedway, and I'm yelling, trying to get you to go to the front. You're like, nope, I'm happy in second. This just gives you so many options to try to work your way to the front, as opposed to if you're already in first, where you have to fight it off.
Yeah, I mean, leading a race is cool and all, but I say it a lot. Doesn't really matter unless you lead the last lap.
It just depends on the style of race and the league as well. We broadcast for another league where they do give bonus points for laps led. And in that case, you want to lead as many as you can. In this league, you only get a set number of points if you lead a lap. So if you could have led 100 laps, or you could have led 1 lap. Your laps led points are exactly the same.
I believe you get, I think it's 5 bonus points if you lead the most laps and 1 point if you lead at least a lap. That lap can come under caution as well. I've used that strategy before to try to pick up a point. Scott Bailey jumping to the outside. I was just about to say Scott Bailey's position in P5 around P4 is exactly where I like to be at in the Superspeedway up until that final lap, because you have a lot of options between the low side, high side. You can see who's going to jump out, when you should go. And I mean, it's just a good spot. You're going to avoid the wrecks in the back. You got the draft in the front, save some fuel. What's not to
Did you
love?
see Adam Thompson in the 71 taking that opportunity and getting right on his bumper? And they are taking off, but this is going to get hairy. They split the gap on the lap cars.
Thompson's going to be your new race leader. He just picked up a lap lead, so that's going to be a point for Thompson. Points.
Adam Thompson, your new race leader, but he immediately gets taken right back over. That's the 48 of Scott Bailey down there, I believe. Being pushed by the 88 of Josh Cully, who's led several laps here. Someone who I don't think we've probably given quite enough attention to here as well is, look who's in second place.
Jay Coley.
Josh Cully still running in second. Also, Bill Hull up here running near the front.
Yeah, he has made his way up front. Latching on, making the right moves, getting there.
He slid back just a little bit there, but one of the perks of being on kind of radio control here is that I get to hear Bill Hull and his one-liners. It's one of the highlights of my week. That's a guy I want to crack a cold one with.
Trying to look through my list here and see who we got. Nick Offer back here as well. He started up near the front. He's back here with Cameron King and Brian Dixon. Again, I'm not sure if this is by design because I know all 3 of these drivers and what they can do. Not sure if they're content with hanging back right here, right now. We could pull up a track map. I'll pull up by position, I should say. You can see just how far back they are in that 25 and 32 from the lead pack. It may not seem like a lot, but when you only got 3 cars drafting, that's some ground to make up. I'm sure they know a caution is coming. The big thing is just don't get lapped. These guys are going to have to pit again before it's all said and done. So a lot of time
Speaking of, I would say, speaking of getting lapped, you do have Brian Messer. I believe he's off the track. We have Joe McKnight, Zach Michael up there trying to stay in front and stay on the lead lap, but the odds of that are not looking great as Scott Bailey and Josh Kelly are pushing hard here.
Yeah, I'm going to jump to the gearbox of Zach Michael, and you can see those leaders coming in pretty hot. I mean, they're there, right there.
Just a head full of steam. Not much you're going to be able to do about that. Just try to stay safe and try to work your way back around. Also, for, I believe, here in our little draft updates here, I believe the Panthers just picked, and they took...
Hopefully a new owner.
a wide receiver out of Arizona. Hey, why did we draft a wide receiver?
Bryce understands it now.
Really?
Yeah, speaking of somebody who's been understanding it tonight, Scott Bailey up here at the front, about to pass these 3 cars. Got Zach Michael, Joe McKnight, Brian Messer. Dude, I have been working on the segways all year.
I'm furious. You're 2-0.
All year.
I say normally I'm the one that's got those locked and loaded, but I'm 0-2 tonight. That's just well done. Well done on every level.
I mean, come on, it's draft night. That was a softball.
I did kind of set you up for that one.
Yeah, that was beach balls. Toss it up, Mac. Yeah, we haven't really brought up Scott Bailey and directly discussed him, but he is kind of having a night himself. Trying to pull up his team name is the Blue Collar Motorsports team. There's a lot of guys coming in right now. I see Gary Kloon coming in. On the brakes hard. That's Nick Atwood back there. I can't get to him fast enough. They're all cycling through. Looks like that whole Beast Mode Performance team is coming in along with Adam Gardner, Eric Anderson.
Like we might have some green flag pit stops going on here. I believe that includes the number 6. Yeah, like you said, I believe that's the entire BMP team. I think Joe McKnight came down there as well.
Anderson's going to have to really catch up. If he does not catch up with this group here, he is in trouble.
Which would be a shame because he's run a really great race. But we were talking about at the beginning how important making sure that you stay in the draft is. And especially at this point where you're on 61 of 94, it's going to be a tough task. It's not like Bristol or Martinsville where if you have fresh tires and you can just really stay in it and you can drive comfortably, you can work your way back and gain all those laps back. That's not this track.
I'm curious to see if these guys pit this lap or the next one. You know what's coming.
When was the last time that the leaders came down pit road?
It's a good question. We're looking at lap 27 was the last time that these guys have came down. Looks like the entire top 15 is that way.
Is that
all the way to the 21st.
35?
Yes. 36.
Let's go.
Yep, just turned to 36, I think.
Yep. And I know we talked to Jamie Horn at the beginning of the race, and he was saying about 35 laps is about your gas tank limit. And I know that's what Eric Anderson is praying for because he's got Scott Bailey and Josh Cully in his mirror.
Is it going to be this time? Not this time.
Just heard over the radio Scott Bailey saying he's coming down next time by. But I believe Jonathan Jennings just came over the radio and said that he needs to pit in the next 5 laps.
Yeah, if Scott Bailey goes down, I'm sure Jennings will go down with him. You don't want to pit by yourself, even if it shorts you a little bit here.
And I'm now hearing everybody coming over the radio. 48 of Scott Bailey, Josh Cully, Jonathan Jennings, all made sure they shouted out that they were coming down pit road. Matthew Paddock back in 14th position. He is up from 30th, also said that he's going to be bringing it down pit road, as well as Nick Shell in 15th position from the Hot Lap guys.
Here they come.
And it's a parade. If I'm Eric Anderson, I am driving the wheels off of it right here.
Everybody's sliding in there. Want to stick close together. Looks like Cully's going to take 4 tires. That's another thing. You can't just be on the same pit strategy. You got to be on the same kind of pit strategy. Are we taking 4s? Are we taking rights only? See Michael Dow backing up in his stall there as if he probably missed it. That's going to cost him some time.
This is a huge opportunity for those guys that may have already come down. In particular, and again, just you with the calls tonight, the BMP guys. The BMP guys were over 40 seconds back, 24th, 25th, and 26th in one big line. And they're going to find themselves right back in this thing as we see them driving around everybody coming off a pit road.
It's like I've watched a Doghouse racer too.
Race the Doghouse racer too.
Yeah. Something like that. Look at the push from Clune though into Adam Gardner.
Clune has been an absolute dog out there with his pushes tonight, and we have a new race leader. It looks like, oh, we're starting to get a little shaky.
Kind of wish I put Adam Gardner. I wish I did my trifecta tonight because I would have put Adam Gardner in my top 3 as well.
It's like Cameron King just brought it down, as well as Nick Alford. Looks like the Hot Lap Heroes guys just brought it down. Jonathan Jennings now in the lead of this thing, being pushed by Jamie Horn. Top lane trying to get things going. This will be the 56 of Adam Gardner right there.
Kind of see how
Gary
big
Clune.
that gap is between the first pack and the second pack here.
Oh, and a little checkup right there.
From who?
Up at the front, it looks like maybe Andrew St. Cor had to check up just a little bit.
My apologies. I was on the fence camera on the side just to see how separated our packs were.
I just heard Adam Thompson, who is in 12th place right now, about 4 seconds back, almost 5 seconds. Just heard him come over the radio say, second pack, let's get lined up and get this thing going.
Yeah, they really got to kind of get it together here, get a group. Bill Hull's catching on to the message, pulling up. Paul Buchanan, same thing. Daniel Wilkerson behind him. That's 5. 5's a group.
5 is a group, and that top 3 especially, if they locked in really well right there. Look at the 58 of Nick Shell. Absolutely sending it.
Eric Warman, Bill Gentry, and Matthew Paddock. Actually, that is... That's the 24 car right there. Adjustment man, a lap down. Up with that group with Eric Warman. Helping the guys out.
Trying to help the boys out. And I know there is still plenty of time to go. We are on lap 68 of 94 here, but Those guys want to be up there competing. They don't want to be back here waiting for something to happen, especially with, we're coming up on 24 laps to go. It is going to be a little bit close on fuel.
Watching Chris Simon out here by himself right now. That is not good.
And that second pack has gotten things rolling.
It's like Adam Thompson is going to be catching.
Oh no, and it's going to check up so hard. Adam Thompson was trying to link up right there.
They're going to pick up the 34 is Zach Michael.
Adam hit pretty hard. I wonder if they're saying nose damage there. But they still have about 6 seconds to make up before they even get back to the back of the rest of this pack.
Let's see how fast our Adam Thompson is going. Compare our front pack, Scott Bailey.
Keep in mind, the leader of this second pack here, the 34 of Zach Michael, is a lap down. He's back in 29th position. The 71 of Adam Thompson is in 12th position.
This group is flying here on the high side. Watching Josh Coley right behind Kevin Thompson. Cracking all this
down the low
195.
side. Like someone's falling back to the back of that pack there.
We also have a new biggest mover of the night. And that of Nicholas Atwood. I'm not sure if he goes by Nicholas. I feel like we called him Nicholas when I first joined this league, and now it's Nick. My apologies if I'm getting it wrong.
I feel like it's Nick.
I
But again,
I just use his whole government name, though.
Again, over the radio here. Here, Adam Thompson, again, calling over the radio, saying we need to get this line going.
Going back here to Adam Thompson, who's now got a big group he's working with. Oh man, it's been a long day. Little things crack me up.
Seth Fitzpatrick coming over the radio on that second pack saying go around.
Yeah, I believe Seth had some damage earlier, so gonna be a little bit slower there.
We now have Adam Gardner in the lead of this thing with Gary Clune right behind him, Andrew St. Court in third place, Nick Atwood in fourth, and Kevin Thompson in the fifth position. Looks like Jonathan Jennings is up there on the high side trying to get things moving. He's got Josh Cully right behind him.
Sorry, I'm added a footer for Adam Thompson here, and I remember we discussed with league admin Daniel Wilkerson before the season started, Just kind of as a joke, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Hunter Pence. He used to play right field for the San Francisco Giants. But people used to make chants for Hunter Pence and had posters and signs they would bring to the games that were insults, but they were like not bad insults. Like things like Hunter Pence records full episodes of Full House. Like Hunter Pence doesn't wash his hands after eating an orange. Stuff like that. And we pitched the idea that we could do that in the footers. Ultimately, we decided against that, but it would be fun.
It would be fun.
Daniel Wilkerson
Nope.
double parks and doesn't apologize. I'm kidding. Daniel's a good guy. Your pick.
We're starting to see a little bit of separation out of these guys. Unfortunately, we do see, I believe that's Eric Anderson there. Now finds himself a lap down in 24th position. It looks like everyone's trying to get their thing figured out here. We got a low line and a top line. Working in that front pack.
You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I don't think Adam Gardner is part of that Beast Mode Performance team, but he has been like an honorary member tonight. And I mean, just
He is not.
cruising.
I believe he drives for himself.
I mean, they're just working well together, all of them guys, and they're all linked up. Looks like they've had a plan coming into tonight and have executed well. And again,
They have.
we said it at the beginning, that Beast Mode Performance team always does well here.
They always do well here. The only thing I'm concerned about, because they all pit together, was very smart, great driving. But they're going to be even more close on fuel than the rest of the pack is, because they pitted about 3 laps earlier.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we should mention here too, is why I didn't ask Jamie in the earlier interview about tire wear or how many tires we get tonight. Tires don't really matter at a track like this. I mean, you can make the argue that it does in a minuscule amount, but as long as you're with that draft and you got a good push, it really doesn't matter a whole lot for these guys. The gas tank's going to run out far before the tires will.
That low side starting to open up a little bit. It looked like Josh Kelly was getting a good run based on that push from Jonathan Jennings. But that high side still has a ton of speed. And Gary Clune, as he has been the entire time tonight, pushing like crazy. Something that we do need to take into consideration, though, that backpack, or the second pack, was about 6.5 seconds behind 3 laps ago. That gap has closed and it is now 3.5 seconds.
We have got 16 to go. I think you're going to start seeing it get a little bit more spicy here, this front pack. Eric Anderson back there, I see him leading that second pack. Hopefully can lead the charge to catch back up.
And Eric Anderson's, again, when you're talking about Talladega, you'll work with whoever would be willing to work with you. Eric Anderson's a lap down. The only car you have on the lead lap there that's at the front of it is going to be Zachary Miller in that number 90 car. He's got Adam Thompson right behind him. Those are your lead lap cars. That's 11th, 12th, and 13th. And they're trying to figure out a way to keep this thing pushing all the way back to the front. Heard Adam Thompson over the radio so many times tonight, trying to get everybody in line, trying to get them work back up to the front to catch that lead pack. Right now, nobody has anything for Adam Gardner, who's just been letting it eat on that high side, accompanied by Gary Clune, who has been a teammate and a half tonight.
Man, Gary has been pushing hard tonight.
And he's done it perfectly.
I don't know
He's
how
done
his
it
car hasn't
exactly by the
overheated.
textbook. He's done it exactly by the textbook. I have not seen him throw one bad bump tonight, which again, we see that be the cause of a lot of the cautions at Talladega, and he's just done such a great job.
Yeah, I don't know how his car is not 500 degrees right now. Usually drafting this close for that long is going to heat up the car. When it starts at about 260, 270, that thing is liable to blow up. You can see him back off just a little bit here, maybe to catch some air, but he's got to be running hot. Fans are definitely on in that car. I don't have a flashback to the last race, which was 2 weeks ago at Bristol, but just to give you a short recap, Jonathan Jennings come out, really dominated the race, lapped everybody except for the top 3 drivers and Seth Fitzpatrick, and I believe Justin McMahon. Adam Thompson goes down a few laps. I believe 2 laps, actually comes back, drives all the way back around, still finishes a lap down, but finished in 4th place. A good run by him. Eric Anderson also up there in that top 5 at Bristol. Good run by Eric Anderson. Not so great luck here tonight.
It was a fun race, man. It was really fun to watch, even with, you might think that seeing everybody get laps, not fun, but it was just a dominating performance. And you have to respect greatness, and that's what we saw there that night.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it too then. It kind of creates 2 separate races that you're watching. Yeah, we're watching this front pack. We're watching Adam Gardner lead this, but also watching Eric Anderson back here. He is the first car that is a lap down. So if a caution does come out, he would get his lap back. Joe McKnight's the second car lap down. Dumont right behind him. So these guys want to be in front of each other if a caution does come out.
100%. We're still seeing these guys are racing up at the front of this pack right now. Adam Gardner has been just letting it eat on that high side, and obviously very much assisted by Gary Clune right behind him. Andrew St. Core's also done a great job pushing tonight. Those guys are just absolutely letting it rip on the high side. Jonathan Jennings, we know how great he is, and he's been pushing Josh Cully, who is a great driver in his own respect. We talked about him at the beginning, always works it way back up to the front. That's no slouches down at the bottom of the track, and they're pushing. They're not holding back anything at this point. And between Adam Gardner and Gary Clune, they're doing a perfect job of maintaining that lead.
Yeah, as far as our broadcast goes, Jonathan Jennings is looking to three-peat for the Nap Daddy broadcast, as he won in our charity race last Saturday at Daytona and then won on Tuesday night. Which was not our broadcast, but was at a Superspeedway. So I'm three-peat a Superspeedway, I should say, where he won at Talladega in the Gen 4 cars and looking to do it here tonight. 3 Speedways in a week.
And that being said, Jonathan Jennings isn't what I would say is like a Superspeedway specialist. He's especially great at tracks that require shorter tracks that require a lot more input on the pedals, a lot more input on the wheel. Less of these, like kind of what we talked about with the super speedways, where you have a huge luck aspect, things like that. And he's been out here dominating.
Yeah, it's hard for me to sit out here on the broadcast and say that there's a lot of luck involved in super speedways when you see teams like Beast Mode Performance consistently come out here and run near the front. Because, I mean, at some point, that is skill, that is logic going into it. They've got a plan. And I know St. Core is cooking something up in that 3rd place spot right now.
A 100%. And when you are in that 3rd place spot, especially at this point, lap 85, 10 to go.
Ooh, Jennings
That's
on the
a
low
good place
side
to be.
by himself. Scott Bailey's going to follow along behind him. We got 9 to go. Things are about to heat up here, y'all. Look at the side draft out of Outwood.
Oh, no, that was close.
More of a side draft out of Jennings there to Atwood on that corner.
And now you're really starting to see everything shuffle up here. You're starting to really see the guys trying to figure out who their friends are. Again, 9 to go. You're going to be making a push here. Jennings gets loose. 91 and Nick Atwood coming down on the track, side drafted like crazy. But the thing that has remained consistent for the last 15 laps is Adam Gardner still leading this thing, and Gary Clune right behind him.
Jennings gave him a little door slam there, let him know he was there.
Yellow flag is out.
I don't know where. If you can possibly find it.
I'm trying.
No idea where that was at.
Matthew Paddock, maybe?
I was way behind him, probably in his backpack somewhere. I don't see anybody. I don't have anything on my notifications here. You have to let us know what the radio says for this.
I haven't heard a thing. I'm trying to just go back and find someone who went down pit road. John Ganas, 157.
I believe both of
I didn't-
those guys were already in pit road when the flag came out. Yeah, John and Michael Dow both down pit road when that flag came out. Well, if somebody takes an EOL, let us know. We can try to find that.
Are seeing a couple drivers bring it down pit road, trying to make sure that they have enough gas to bring this thing home. Eric Warman.
It is going to be
So
a
Brian
wild last
Dixon.
couple of laps.
Brian Dixon also brought it down. Daniel Wilkerson on pit road. Chris Simon, Matthew Paddock, Brian Messer, all trying to catch up back to the back of the pack. But for your restart on lap 89, it's going to be Adam Gardner, Gary Clune, Andrew St. Cyr, Jonathan Jennings, Nick Atwood, Scott Bailey, Kevin Thompson, Shane Parrish, Josh Cully, and Jamie Horn making up your top 10. We talked about it earlier. Really, at this race, at this point in the race, it's going to be pretty much anyone's. It's who you hook up with, who's going to be your friend, who's going to help take you to the top, and who's not going to put you in the wall and start the big one. As at least in my opinion, that's something we haven't really had tonight. So this is going to be a fun end of the race. Again, huge shout out to all of our sponsors for putting this thing on. This is the Group 6 Cup Series, so huge shout out to Group 6 for making sure that we can be up here in the booth. These guys can be out here going around the track. Big shout out to Shoney's. They're not only a race team out here, they're also a fantastic restaurant, and you should be sure to check out their West Virginia locations especially. This is also the Nap Daddy Racing 250. So be sure to head on over to napdaddyracing.com if you enjoy iRacing, if you enjoy cool hats and shirts, if you enjoy custom designs, custom logos, custom templates, or if you just like the sound of our voices. because Nap Daddy Racing is myself and John. And if you want to take your iRacing experience to the next level, be sure you check out our other sponsor, Butt Kicker. The best gaming haptics in the industry. You can buy them over at their website.
I always forget that Bill Hull is from Spartanburg. Local guy to me. You can probably hear him yelling if he were to get into a wreck. Being as we're right here in the same city together.
Again, one of my favorite parts about being able to hear the radio is that I can hear Bill Hull's one-liners.
Might have to put him on the t-shirt. We are getting doubled up here, about getting ready to go. I'm expecting to see Nick Atwood do a lot of side drafting here. I know how much he likes to do that. Works out very well for him. It's going to help out his teammates as well. Essentially what's happening here. So I'm not sure how many people know what I'm saying when I say side draft, but your wind speed coming off the back of your car is a little bit less, which decreases your downforce. When a car gets beside you, it makes the air between that car and your car speed up a whole lot, kind of go between your car and cross over the back end of the other person's car over top of that deck lid. And when that does, it puts a lot of drag on the car and causes them to slow down quite a bit. When they slow down, it allows that car to, the other car, to get past. But in order to do it effectively, you got to get close, make that air move really quick between both cars, and get off.
We're getting ready to get restarted here, though. It's going to be 91 laps with 4 to go this time by. Pace car is off. Green flag racing. Adam Gardner takes the green flag. Who in this field has anything for him? He's been doing so well. We see him start to try to line up. Looks like they all tried to jump to the high side. It leaves Andrew St. Cyr by himself on the bottom side. He's got to wait till Scott Bailey back there in the 48 machine catches him. Jonathan Jennings working his way to the low side, and he has help.
Sean Thompson in the comments, I guess the yell is for the two Alabamers fighting in the infield. Stop the race, we got to fight.
I've been to Alabama. It's a wild state.
Scott Bailey with a really good push with Jonathan Jennings there on the bottom side. They got 3 laps to get something going. Kevin Thompson's on the low side away from his teammates right now.
Looks like they're picking up a little bit of a head of steam. We saw that top line get a little bit shaky and a little bit loose there. See, oh, and there it goes.
That's Gary Clune into the wall. Cameron King, Shane Parrish. More cars into the wall. Is that Adam Thompson, I believe?
Adam Thompson was on the brakes. I saw trying to avoid it, but I don't think he was going to be able to fully get around it. We just saw that was that top line. It just got a little shaky. And everyone was trying to find their position. You have people trying to work their way around. Because that's the thing here at Talladega. You got to be able to have the courage to throw your bumper out there and hope someone will go with you. And if they don't, and you try to hop back in line, that's what's going to send it. Got B-Mac in the comments saying, geez, I have no nails left. Me neither, honestly.
I saw the bump from Jamie Horn to Shane Parrish. Kind of got an accordion. We talked about this earlier as well. It's going to push that middle car out. And then a big checkup from Cameron King. Adam Thompson tries to avoid it. Looks like they get accordion again there. Gary Clune into the wall. Shane Parrish. Clune comes down. Clips Cameron King. Bill Hull to the side of Daniel Wilkerson. Wilkerson's able to keep it straight. Shane's into the wall. Brian Dixon looks like he clips Matthew Paddock in that 86, who then gets into Adam Thompson.
Yeah, Adam was about a half a second from getting around that thing.
See if I can find Adam Thompson here. I think that's going to be a night for him.
It is going to be a night for Adam Thompson as well as Matthew Paddock. We got 20 people in here watching the stream right now. Thank you all so very much for being here. We are coming into the green-white checkered here. Your top 5 as we come to this restart is going to be Jonathan Jennings, Scott Bailey, Kevin Thompson, Adam Gardner, and Josh Cully. Andrew St. Clair is going to be in the 6th position, Nick Alford in 7th, Nick Atwood in 8th, Zach Miller in 9th, and Jamie Horn in 10th. This is going to be a fun restart.
And Adam Thompson caught some air there and went flipping. Gets the whole Fig Newton banner across the windshield.
Make sure that as this thing comes to an end here, as we come to the end of this green-white checkered, that you are in the comments shouting out your driver. They might be the one to win this thing, and I know that they would love to hear their friends, family, and fans shouting them out as we come to the end of this thing. We still have some people up there that are going to be dangerous, though. I mean, it all depends on what line you take and who decides to go with you. Bill Gentry up there in 11th. He's going to be right there beside Jamie Horn. Eric Warman moved himself up from 29th to 12th. He's sitting back there. And he's got Daniel Wilkerson right beside him. He was my pick for the night. Started 17th up to 13th. Seen himself in a little bit of trouble, but been able to work his way back up. Got Sean Thompson out there saying, let's go, Kevin. Sean always out here supporting Kevin. Kevin's in 3rd place here on this restart, which we've talked about here earlier in the night. 3rd place is a good place to be.
Yep.
Especially on a restart.
I was about to bring it up too. I mean, I'm looking at here our standings right now as it is. The most dangerous spots that I think are on the track right now is going to be this P4 position, Adam Gardner. Sitting here, 2nd row on the outside lane. You got St. Clair right behind you.
I'm just curious to see how the lines get going. Because we've seen tonight that, especially over the longer runs, the high side gets great speed.
Man,
but it seems to me like earlier in the run, the inside does really well.
If I had to call it right now, I'm going to say it's going to be Adam Thompson or St. Clair. That 2nd, 3rd row on the outside.
Kevin Thompson.
I'm looking at St. Clair on the outside of Josh Cully right now, behind Brett Gardner for the Yankees. Wow, Adam Gardner. I mean, he's got Nicholas Atwood behind St. Clair as well. I mean, being 2 or 3 rows back on the outside with 1 or 2 to go is a dangerous place to be. Not in terms of I'm going to wreck, in terms of I could have a real shot at winning this thing.
Yeah, if I'm Kevin Thompson, if I'm Adam Gardner, if I'm Andrew St. Clair, if I'm Josh Cully, I'm starting to figure out whose tab I can pick up to get in the line and get this thing going.
Yeah,
Jonathan Jennings always very, very fast. He's going to be at the front of that high side. Scott Bailey been incredibly fast here tonight. Going to be on that low side.
I'll tell you 2 places I don't want to be on a super speedway on a restart for a green-white checkered or 2 to go, I should say, is on the front row. You are a sitting duck out there.
We will see what happens. The pace car is off. Green flag racing. It's Dega, baby. We see them lining up. They're stacking up. Is Jennings going to be able to get out to enough of a run and to bring this thing home? Here he goes. High side. Gets the run. Jennings goes low. Jennings goes low. He gets on the nose of Scott Bailey. Adam Gardner to the front, being pushed by the number 12 of Andrew St. Cyr. And they've got help from Kevin Thompson. And they are absolutely locked up here. They just got to be able to hang on to it.
Look at the push coming from St. Cyr to Gardner, man. Thompson's right behind him.
St. Cyr's doing a great job of pushing, but he got a little bit loose there. That's going to allow Jonathan Jennings to go around.
Nick Offers up here at the front. Third lane started. Josh Coley on the top side. Eric Warman with him behind. I see Chris Simon behind Eric Warman.
And they got to get this thing going last time by right here.
Could be a strong push here. Somebody's got to give something for Scott Bailey and Jonathan Jennings here.
Scott Bailey doing an incredible job of pushing right here. Josh Coley, Jansen out to the outside, trying to get on the nose of Eric Warman.
I mean, what a push here.
Scott Bailey's doing an incredible job right here of pushing Jonathan Jennings, but you know he's going to be trying to...
Oh, St. Cyr's
St.
in the
Cyr
wall.
up in the wall.
Jonathan Jennings
Able to
looking
hold-
to three-peat it.
Huge block out of Scott Bailey. Adam Gardner had a little bit of a run there at the very end. And Scott Bailey just slid up the track just the little bit that he needed to do to throw that block.
What a run there at the end. I mean, Scott Bailey, Jonathan Jennings just pushed out far enough where they cannot be caught. And usually you do not want to be on that front row on a restart, but those guys just worked really well, linked up.
They were too fast.
They were too
that's
fast.
just... Got Miguel in the comments saying that he was a Christopher Simon fan there. B-Mac with the little emoji. Sean Thompson saying, good race. That was a good race. And that one didn't have you nibbling on your fingernails. I don't know what to tell you. Jonathan Jennings out there burning it down. Scott Bailey, who needs a huge amount of credit for not only how he ran this race, but how he pushed Jonathan Jennings. Like you said, the front row is a dangerous, dangerous place to be, especially at Dega. And Bailey gave him such a push, they were able to get out so far in front. They avoided the trouble. They did a great job. Adam Gardner led a ton of laps here tonight. Up from 19th to 3rd is going to be your 3rd place finisher. Nick Alford is going to bring it home in the 4th position. And Nicholas Atwood is going to be your 5th place finisher. Up from 33rd to 5th. Believe that's going to make him your biggest mover tonight. Adam Thompson in the comments saying, don't worry, I'm okay. We're all very happy you're okay, Adam.
He's going to get that big Newton sponsor. Right on the front of the windshield. Old Talladega Nights. Man, what a race there at the end.
That was so fun to watch, man.
Jonathan Jennings comes back and wins it again. Won at Bristol at a short track. Comes back at from one of the shortest tracks on the circuit to the biggest tracks on the circuit and wins them both. You said it a few weeks ago that Jonathan Jennings is starting to hit his stride, that you would see him up on the podiums a lot more, and this is back-to-back wins for him.
We've seen Jonathan be so dominant in the Doghouse Racing League before, and he wasn't one of our earlier winners. And we saw everyone kind of going around. He was always right there, just wasn't able to get it done. And then here he is now back-to-back in it at 2 different tracks. He's starting to hit his stride. We all knew it would happen, but still, he's got to be the one out there putting it down. And getting it done. So huge shout out to him there.
Just going back to this replay of the end here. I see Josh Coley getting around off the nose of Eric Warman. Trying to see what happened to St. Cour. I know he got bumped up to the high side. That was way after he wrecked. That right wheel is done. Adam Thompson, Brian Dixon around, Brian Messer. And I did set up a camera just for this certain thing tonight. Trying to see how close
That was the other Thompson, I believe. I believe that was Kevin.
At the end there, yeah.
What a camera angle that is.
Probably should have had it just a little bit more zoomed out, but it's all right. We're working what we got.
And if you want some of your own camera angles for iRacing, for your own streams or for your own broadcasts, starting next week, you can check out napdaddyracing.com.
Man. Well, with that said, we do have some of the people up in the booth. I don't have Scott Bailey up here just yet, but we do have Adam Gardner. I do got Scott Bailey now. Perfect. Let's go ahead and try to bring up Adam Gardner, who I called Brett Gardner tonight. The old DH right fielder or left fielder for the Yankees. If it will work here. Hey, Adam, you got us in the booth here?
Gotcha.
Perfect. Sorry, I was having a little bit of troubles there getting you pulled up. Congratulations on a third place finish tonight, man. You were fast all night. Tell us a little bit about that run. How are you feeling there at the end?
Not gonna lie, I'm happy with the finish, especially the way the last few races have gone. But I really wish that yellow didn't come out with, what was it, 10 to go, something like that. I would have loved to have seen that stay green and have just a few of us shooting it out. I think it would have been, would have had a chance to hold on to it. But I can't complain. Clean race overall, solid night, so.
Absolutely, man. We saw you work really well tonight with that Beast Mode team. I don't believe you are part of the Beast Mode team, but honorary member tonight. You guys are linked up all night, running really well together. Is this something you guys talked about before, or just something you kind of found out as the race was going on?
Yeah, no, we've been unofficially teammates for a few years now. We're all good friends. We've known each other for a while. We work really good together. And to be honest, I trust the guys, the pushes they give me, the pushes I give them. So it was really good work. We always, especially these plate races, we always work really, really good together. So definitely want to say huge appreciation to all those guys over there. But yeah, it just didn't work out at the end. It's a plate race, so sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball, and we were almost the bat, but we ended up the ball a little bit at the end and just come up a little short.
Yeah, well, I mean, third place is nothing to complain about. Kind of saw you out there near the front of that pack a lot tonight. Do you prefer to be pushed? Do you prefer to be pushing someone else?
Believe it or not, my happiest place in line is being the second car in line. I really like pushing the lead car. That being said, it's kind of ironic that I led the most laps, but that's just due to having a really good group of guys behind me with all the guys over there at Beast Mode. And we just, however we get lined up to where it works the best, we're usually pretty committed to each other. And, sometimes things happen that affect the finishes, but overall, yeah, I really can't complain. It was great working with the guys, and I trusted him right there, and things happen, but all in all, I'm happy.
Absolutely can't complain about that. Before I let you go, any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
I want to give thanks to Daniel for setting this up. Each week it's been here since day one, season one, and I have a blast out here, so that's why I keep coming back. You guys for bringing it to everybody, everyone that tuned in. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. Bay State Limousine on the car. They do great when it comes to limo transportation, anything like that. They've voted best limo and airport service in Massachusetts the last 2 years in a row. So if you're in the New England area and you need a limo for any occasion, give them a call. They'll hook you up. The guys over at Beast Mode, again, for some awesome teamwork. Love the relationship I have with them guys. And anybody I forgot, I'm sorry I forgot about you. Yell at me later, and I won't forget you next time.
Yes, sir. Well, congrats on third place tonight. We'll see you at Texas next week. Good luck to you.
Sounds good.
That was Adam Gardner, your third place finisher tonight here at Talladega. Up next, I do have Scott Bailey in the waiting room waiting for us here. Scott, you got a copy with us in the booth?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, how you doing tonight? You had a great run tonight. Up there near the front, finishing P2. Tell us about your thoughts going out of that last caution with 2 to go.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working with Jonathan kind of all race, so I knew we could get connected and have pretty good speed. It was tough before that wreck trying to get past those 5 cars that were lined up. So we had been working together, so I kind of told myself I was going to commit to his bumper if he was in front of me. So that was kind of the game plan, is just push him out as far as I could, and I was going to let it blow up on his bumper.
So was there any thoughts at all coming around turn 4 to make a move or a pass there, try something a little earlier?
No, I was content running second just because I had nobody behind me. Like, we were so far out that if I tried to back off of them, I really had nobody to help me give me a run, and we would have just got freight trained, I believe. So, um, yeah, it worked out to where we were so far out that I didn't feel like I could really make a move that would get me to the lead without us just getting freight trained.
Yeah, it's probably a really smart strategy now that you say that. I mean, right before you guys went green, I kind of said on the broadcast that first and second spot, it's kind of a terrible place to be on the last restart with like 1 to go or 2 to go at a Superspeedway, because exactly what you said, you kind of get ran over, but really smart to kind of stay behind them there and understand situational awareness, what could happen there. Speaking of which, the Beast Mode Performance team, fast all night, ran y'all's high side pretty much all night long. Was that something you guys were worried about or you were looking at as the race was going on?
Yeah, honestly, that whole last run before that last wreck, we were trying different things to see what we could have for them. But when you got 5 cars that are committed to that middle, it's really hard to get them because the right rear side draft is so much stronger than the left rear. So you pretty much have to get to the outside of them, and they were willing to go all the way up to the wall to block it. So it was going to be interesting. I think we had a little bit of plan there, but we didn't end up having to use it. So.
Right on, man. But going to Texas next week, you got any thoughts on Texas?
Texas is usually a pretty good track for me, so I enjoy it. It's wide open. A lot of times it's pretty slick in these cars, so it'll be interesting. Hopefully we can have some good long green flag runs.
Yeah, well, you've been fast all year, so I don't expect anything different from you next week going to Texas. Before I let you go, any shout outs or sponsors you want to give here?
Yeah, I just want to shout out you guys. Honestly, you guys do an awesome job on the broadcast. Daniel for putting on the league, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate it. Congratulations tonight on your P2 finish, and good luck to you next week at Texas.
Thank you.
That is Scott Bailey, your P2 finisher tonight with that blue collar racing team. Didn't have a lot of help from the teammates tonight. I know they kind of ran into some trouble a little bit earlier on. I'm trying to remember, who was his other teammate? I should have asked them. I'm not even sure if Hunter's...
I'm genuinely not sure.
He drives the Coors banquet car, man, and I'm like blanking right now. We did have some cars change some schemes tonight, and that kind of threw me off my game a little bit. I've gotten really familiar with the colors of the cars and the numbers. But yeah, he didn't have any teammates tonight. Made it work with Jonathan Jennings and pushed his way to the front, even starting out in the front row on that last restart, which shocked me. And those guys got off to a good run. I really
Yep.
like what he said there at the end or the beginning about how, I mean, you're not content with winning, coming in second place over a win, but very smart driving to just stay behind him, understand like if I pull out of this now, we're going to get ran over. So I respect that. That's a really good move. Very logical thinking, neural driving there. So congrats to Scott Bailey. But I got Jonathan Jennings coming back up again to the booth here. Jonathan, you got a copy with us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey man, this is a three-peat for you in super speedways this week. I think we got you a win Saturday at Daytona. You won Tuesday night in the Gen 4 cars, and again here tonight. How's it feel to three-peat? Just dominate.
I probably should go play the lottery. A rarity for me to run. I mean, I run good, but I don't. It never works out for me in the end. Normally, I get put in a bad spot, or I put myself in a bad spot, and I don't know. I learned something in the trucks earlier in the season, so I'm trying to apply that to every race I run at Superspeedways now, and it seems to be working.
I would ask you what it is, but I feel like you might be trying to keep that a secret just for the rest of the season. But
No, not really. Just quit moving around so much.
oh,
Be patient and stay put.
I don't know if you were trying to gatekeep that to keep that win streak going, man. You won 2 weeks ago at Bristol and also won here. What do you think your chances are at Texas to get that third win in the Thursday Night Cup Series?
I mean, I don't know. It's tough in these cars and the quality of drivers we have. It'll be tough to. You just gotta be patient still and wait for the tire wear to come to play, hopefully, and see what we have.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too, kind of before this, but coming into that last restart, I kind of mentioned on the broadcast that I personally do not like to be in that first row on a restart at a super speedway with like less than 2 to go. What's your thought process behind that? I mean, is it something that you're more okay with? Do you like to be further back?
Normally I do not want to be the car out front at these things because the car behind you controls who's going to win it. As long as nobody's to his outside, he can easily leave you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But Scott, okay. Scott made an alliance with that blue collar racing team earlier, more than a week ago, honestly, and I was going to work with them, and my team was going to work with them. But unfortunately, I turned Mike. That was one teammate that I lost, and then I think Chris got involved in a couple of wrecks, and Simon as well had some issues. So and Seth had a problem, and Scott stuck with me the whole second half of the race, I think, and he could have easily won, I believe, if he wanted to, but that win's pretty much all him.
Yeah, he mentioned that he was going to try to stay behind you because he figured if he got out to the side that it could cause the Beast Mode Performance team just catch up and run you guys over. So I mean, I respect that move he did there. I know Chris tonight got into a really unlucky situation trying to avoid a wreck and just kind of popped up in front of him. Nothing he can do. I was going to ask you again, or one more thing about Mike Leftwich around that tri-oval turn there that you had. Was that just a factor of the bump that's in that tri-oval, or what happened there?
Probably that's probably the main thing. The bump for a little rough, and we was coming to the stage end, and he was trying to win it. And I don't know. I have to go back and look, but I don't know if he came up, and I tried the angle of the nose of my car hooked in when I went up to bump him a little bit. But yeah, once I saw him start his back end come around a little bit, I tried to pedal it, but it was too late at that rate of speed. It's gone, I believe.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was much. I mean, like, I couldn't even tell where it was a bad bump. It looked maybe just the bump in that tribal that's there on that low side might have played a factor. But before I let you go, any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
You guys for the broadcast, Daniel and all the admins for putting the stuff on every week, and all the sponsors for the league, Tony's, Group 6. I know I'm gonna forget quite a few, but Trackside and Mr. Outlet, um, dang it, Nap Daddy Racing Designs, SSR Designs, Butt Kicker, that's the shop that does the nice stuff. Dang it. Wait a minute. The truck sponsor. Who's that?
Oh, that's the Auto Pros.
Yeah, those guys too. I know it's a different series, but regardless, whatever helps the league is a huge thanks to them.
Company man.
Oh yeah, we're appreciative of all the people that help.
Yeah, and my teammates and Scott and Seth were working with me there, and without Alliance and teammates, I wouldn't have got that one.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again. This is, I mean, I think from what I've been racing with you or broadcasting too, that's 4 in a row that I've seen from you between Bristol, our charity race, and then Tuesday night tonight. So see if you can keep the streak going on into Texas, and then a Sunday night the truck series, and then Tuesday night next week. So congrats again on winning, and we'll see you in Texas.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You too.
That's going to be Jonathan Jennings, your race winner for tonight. Always interesting to like talk to him about racing and stuff. Like, as the kids say these days, the guy knows ball. Like, he gets it.
He does know ball.
I'm always afraid to ask him like secrets and strategies. Like when he said like I found something out in the trucks, I'm like, man, there's no way he's going to tell me some like secret here. But always open, willing to help, and I appreciate that of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's realistically a guy that is wildly talented. Like, there's a different life where Jonathan Jennings is racing on Sundays. And always very willing to talk to people, give different strategies. And I think I mentioned it earlier in the night where super speedways aren't really or traditionally haven't been Jennings' thing. And he came out here. You saw kind of the theme through all those interviews: patience. Not trying to get out to the front, not trying to go blow anybody out of the water. Just trying to get out there, race safe, race clean, and get things done. And he did a beautiful job of that tonight. You heard him say it. Be patient. Don't move around. Have friends. And he did exactly that tonight by the book.
Yeah, 100%. But before we head out of here, we are going to Texas next week. Next Thursday night, 7:45, same place, same time. Going to be right here on Doghouse Racing TV. Kind of can't wait for that. I love Texas now. Ever since Atlanta's been updated and changed, Texas has become more of a track that I like because it kind of reminds me of old Atlanta. But going to be a fun race. Always pretty slick out there. A lot of skill that you got to have to get around that track. I know they have races on Sunday night in the truck series as well as that is going to be right here on Doghouse Racing TV. And then on Tuesday nights on Intensity Broadcasting, the Gen 4 series in the Doghouse Racing League as well. You can check that out there, all starting at 7:45. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors before we leave here. We are sponsored by Group6. This is the Group6 Cup Series. Big shout out to them for putting this series on and helping us out. We would not be there without those guys. Give a shout out to Shoney's. Shoney's has been a sponsor of the league for quite a while now. Actually, since I have been in the league, Shoney's has been a sponsor, which, I mean, I've only been in the league for about 2 years. That's about 3 or 4 seasons, though. Sponsored every single time. So we're really appreciative of them. Shout out to Butt Kicker, also coming out here helping us put on. Butt Kicker's a big name in the iRacing industry. Trying to become a big name in the iRacing industry is Nat Daddy Racing. We're doing our best out here. That's my third segue for the night, by the way. Just trying to keep them transitions going, baby. But yeah, we are Nat Daddy Racing Designs out here doing some broadcasting, getting into the broadcast side of things. We are brand new to it, but loving every second of it. So couldn't be more thrilled with how this season is going and how the league has accepted us and brought us in, gave us some pointers along the way, helped us learn a lot. But yeah, any final thoughts on this race tonight?
It was just a great race, man. It was, you saw the moments that were like classic traditional Talladega, and then we get to the end and we find out that these guys have been playing chess when we were playing checkers. It's just really fun to watch. Fun to see these guys get out there and do their very best. I think Texas next week is going to be an absolute show. So make sure you don't miss it. Make sure that you subscribe. Thank you to everyone who liked and subscribed to the channel tonight. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you. We'll see you at Texas.
Yeah, for the final time tonight, I have been John Smith.
And I've been Hunter Foley.
And we will see you guys next week.
Everybody be good.